Hey guys, what's going on? We're doing an unboxing video, and this is something I think I promised in one of my previous videos that I would do when they came in. I mentioned that I had ordered some display cases for my statues, that statues will be able to spin and the boxes glow as well. Now, full disclosure, I grabbed 5 of these when they came in. I've actually opened 2 of them already and set them up. So this is not new to me. And interestingly enough, I've only put 2 statues in, and one of them is, if you recall, I have the 2 Rex statues from Dark Horse. Their bases are very large to the point where they're basically snug inside there. It's actually bigger than, this is it here. Actually, I should just show you. This is the box here that they come in. So as you can see, there's a spinning disc in the middle. It's slightly bigger than the spinning disc. And so what I actually had to do to get that one to spin is I actually had to tape a small piece of cardboard down. So it's a little bit raised up so that it's not touching the non-spinning edges of the platform. It's barely noticeable. So it's actually, you'd have to actually realize what's going on to understand that. But yeah, so it spins, and then they can glow different colors and whatnot. So I've set up 2 of them, put the Rex statue in one, I put the Pan Am statue that we got recently in the other, because they were the closest one nearby. I've already discovered that unfortunately these are not going to work for all of my statues. Specifically the one that, like, obviously it's not going to work for the Star Wars one. That one was way too big. And I knew that going in. But unfortunately, it also doesn't work with the Johnny Silverhand one. And the reason being is because of the way that he's got pointing out with his gun, and he's got the guitar back like this, it makes it really wide. Even though it fits, it wouldn't spin. It would hit the edges. I would have to take... I mean, I could put it on the platform without the plastic shell, like these pieces, but that would be kind of pointless. So anyways, we're gonna show you how these are set up now. Like, these are I believe only available in GameStop Canada. I'm not sure where they might be available outside of Canada. This is Biogenik is a GameStop owned brand. So you get a nice long USB cable for your power, and then those are all your side panels, and then you got that's your top, and that's your base. So that's the contents of the box: base, top. These will have your 4 panels in them and your USB power cord. So it's kind of a pretty straightforward setup. Interestingly enough, it does come with instructions if you need them. What was funny when I was doing this is I was like, so like 2 of the panels are labeled A, and I don't know if you can see that, and 2 of them are labeled B, and based on the image in the diagram, I thought that the A's were the front and the back, and the B's were the sides. But it turns out they're not. They are slightly different in size, because obviously, even though it is a square, point this down a little bit more so you can see. Even though it's a square, it is obviously one panel goes all the way edge to edge, which means the other panel has to go within that. You would think that it would theoretically fit anyway, but I found, so what was interesting is when I did the first one, I thought, so like how you can see, so there's 4 panels here, They've got like protective film on them, so B, A, and A. I thought I was, it's hard to tell in this, but yeah, the B's are slightly smaller. I thought I was doing it the right way. I thought it was like A was front and back, B and B is side, but apparently I had this turned the wrong way. And so I actually put the A's on the side and it worked out fine. So then when I went to try and do it the way I thought on the second one, I actually couldn't get them all to quite fit properly. So, and I don't know if there's like something on the inside of the groove. Now, as you can see, they are extremely thin pieces of plastic, so you do want to be careful when you're pushing them in. You want to make sure that you are not, like, you know, bending it, because you could end up snapping the whole piece, and that would suck. Because these are not cheap, unfortunately. My first complaint would be that, there's not really a good way to grip the film to get it off. You kind of have to pick at it. Even if you have nails, it's kind of tricky. So this is side A. This is one of the A pieces. Oh my god. See? Like I said. There we go. Got it. And now you can see we have a nice clear piece of plastic. And so, from my experience, the A pieces fit better on the two sides with the buttons. So you got your USB port here that's on the back. On the front, there is like a little Biogenik logo, and it's actually a touch button that actually changes the colors for you. So that's a touch button. And then there's two on-off switches on the side. One is for the spinning panel and one is for the lights. So if you don't want to have the lights on, you don't have to. Or if you don't want to have it spinning but you want the lights, you can. Or you can do both or neither, whatever the case may be. What I am doing with mine is I have them on the shelf here right above my monitors, which you've kind of seen in some of the videos in the past and so forth. And I had some of the statues up there in just those oversized plastic things to protect them from dust and whatnot. They're obviously being transferred, well, at least most of them are being transferred into these things. And I'm putting these up there instead. Oh, come on. What we're doing, and I have them all plugged into a USB hub. Well, I will have them all plugged into a USB hub. The two are plugged into it right now. There you go. There's our second A piece. I'm gonna have them all plugged into that, and I will have them all going. And I have a smart plug somewhere that I'm going to plug that into. It's not plugged into it right now, but it will be plugged into that. So that I can, like, program it to come on during certain times of the day. Now, this is another downside to this thing, which I probably would have mentioned later anyways, but since we're talking about it, I kind of thought about it right now. One of the downsides to this thing is if you turn it off, see, I want to get it in between these. There we go. There we go. That's in. All right, we're good. So you'll see right now they're kind of flopping around. The lid goes on top. It has like a groove thing that holds these all together. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh, yes. So when you turn the power off for the light, whether that's you kill the overall power by unplugging the USB, or whatever, it always defaults to the first color, which is red. And if you don't want red, you have to sit there and manually go through with the Biogenik button, touch button on the front, to change to the color you want. There is also an option to rotate through colors, but again, it doesn't remember the last color you were on. Even if you don't disconnect the USB port, if you turn off the light, it automatically, next time you turn it back on, will default to the red. There we go. All right. So we are all in there. And that's it. That's the basic of getting that put together. Now, so we're going to grab Garrus here. Got to obviously put your item in before you put the lid on. So Garrus is another one that's got a really big base here. So I have a feeling he's going to have the same problem that that Rex had, because his base is basically the same size. So we might go with one of the smaller ones just to finish up this video, because I don't want to spend too much time for the video. But anyways, so then this is the lid. So the lid's in that thing, and it's got a piece of protective plastic over it as well. So you rip that plastic off, boom, 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 boom. And we'll tilt the camera up a little bit so you can see the top here. There we go. Alright, so yeah, so as you can see, there's like grooves along the edge, so you basically got to line up the corners so that they're all in the thing. So boom, boom, boom. There we go. Boom. Which, yes, does mean this can be a bit of a pain to open back up. Sometimes you'll end up pulling out an entire panel. So we're going to plug this USB cable in so you can kind of see the end result. Hopefully Garrus spins, but I have a feeling he won't because of somewhere there's a USB port back there. There it is. Alright, and then we're going to plug him in. Alright. So, he's all plugged in. Should be good to go. Okay, so which side is which? Okay, so this side here, so the back is facing to you. So, the left side, when it's facing you, would be the spin, and this one would be the light. You're not going to be able to see the light very well, obviously, because it's not dark in here. Actually, Alexa, turn off the lights. Alexa, turn off the lights. There you go. You can kind of see it a little bit better now. Obviously, there's still the glow of the monitors and stuff like that, but you get the idea. Yeah, so we have the same problem. He's not going to spin because he's too big. So we'll put Garrus back in his plastic shell. And this, like I said, this is where it can get tricky when you got to open it back up. There we go. Got it. Garrus goes back where he belongs. And we'll grab
motion at your Ring
Motion
video
detected
doorbell.
at the front door.
So we'll put Tally in here instead. All right. There we go. All right, lights back on, spin on. And there you go. So it spins slowly, as you can tell, but that, you know, you want to admire it. Like I said, so glows in different colors. It starts with the red. And you got green. Well, I have more of a yellow than a green, blue, dark blue, pink, kind of a white. And then usually if you get back to red, this should be the cycle through the colors. So now I'm not going to touch it, and it should cycle. Yeah, so as you can see, now it cycles through the colors automatically. Which I wish this was the default setting, or at least that it would remember it. Now, to be fair, I'm going to be honest. I don't think I have just turned off the light without unplugging it. So I say it doesn't remember it, but maybe it does. So we'll turn it off. Turn the light off. If I turn it back on, yeah, no, see, it just goes back to red. So there's no sort of like memory in it to go, oh yeah, you should be this color kind of thing. Which is unfortunate. So yeah, so now this is the third one I've got set up. I've still got two more that I can open up and set up. For Garrus and the other Rex. I mean, I'm going to have to get more anyways, because I don't have enough for all my statues anyways. But for the Garrus and the other Rex, I'll have to do the same thing that I did with the first Rex, which is I'll just tape a small piece of cardboard onto the thing to just kind of lift it up a little bit so it's not sitting right on the whole thing. Because, yeah, the bases on those ones are pretty big. So yeah, so I can put Lara in one. I've got the Judy statue. I can still put in another. And then I still need at least two more for the other Garrus, or for the other Rex and Garrus. Plus, I've got pre-orders for actually two more that are coming in the fall, apparently. I have a feeling they'll be next year, though. But anyways. That's it. That's the Biogenik glow boxes. They retail for $69.99 Canadian at GameStop Canada. This is not a sponsored video. We've sold at GameStop. They've sold the smaller versions of these for a while that fit like small figures and stuff like that. I always thought they were kind of cool. The smaller ones are like only $14.99 or something like that. But the figures have to be fairly small. Like they won't fit your average, like they're not going to fit like a Marvel Legend figure or a Black Series figure. But they'd be good for like the vintage size, like the old 3 1/4, stuff like that. Most pop figures, if they're out of the box, would fit in them as well. The box itself, like the overall shell of the small ones, are exactly the size of a regular standard Funko Pop box. So, but obviously it's not going to spin that way. But yeah, that's. I always thought they were kind of cool. So when I heard they were making large ones, I was like, ooh, I need those because I've got all these statues. I'm going to look at some, like I do actually have other statues and figures and stuff like that as well. So I might get even more, assuming they'll fit my other stuff. I don't know if they will or not. But these are pretty cool. Like if you're into the whole things lighting up and want your figures to be able to spin and stuff like that, these are pretty cool. Like I said, the biggest thing is when putting it together is just make sure you're not trying to force the panels in when you're putting the panels in, because like they are very thin and you could risk snapping them in half. If you push down too hard, it might bend and snap, and that would suck. So anyways, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.